let's keep the same energy up. Get into the top 5, Sterling. Top 5 games we never talk about.
Time to talk about them.
Time to talk about them for more or less the first time, except for, unfortunately, I've actually talked about a couple of these games today.
That's hilarious.
It is hilarious. But let's see. I went first on the question. So why don't you take us away on the top 5, my friend?
It's only fair. My honorable mention is Tomba 2 for the PlayStation 1.
All right.
We don't ever talk about Tomba.
I'm not familiar with it, I don't think.
It's fantastic. It's 3D, and it's not where you can run around freely. There's certain instances of the game where you can run around freely, but a lot of times it's kind of on a track, but it's in a 3D world. Really, really hard to describe the gameplay because it's a really unique game. But Tomba 2 is fantastic. It's pretty expensive on the used game market, but it's a great game, and we never really talk about it. I mean, we don't talk about PlayStation as it is super often.
Not much.
PS1.
Yeah.
So it would be only appropriate that I start with a PlayStation game. Tomba 2, I believe it's called The Evil Swine Returns. Very fond childhood memories, and it's something I haven't really talked about much. It's funny because this game, like so many moments in this game are so iconic to me, but I don't think it was the most popular game. It's a lot of games like that for a lot of people.
Definitely.
But yeah, man, Tomba 2 coming out the gate.
My game is one that I teased to you earlier before we got on the podcast. My honorable mention is, I believe, the first game I ever bought on Steam. It's not very well known, I don't think, but it's a game called Audio Surf. And
not familiar with it, so that makes sense.
The entire concept of this game is it's a rhythm game where you are in a ship, basically a vehicle that's going on a track, right? And you have to hit blocks that are on the left, right, or middle of this track. Think Egg Emergency, right? Mm-hmm. Or like a Sonic skating rail sequence.
Yeah.
But it's procedurally generated by uploading your own song to the game. So you can upload any song from like anything.
Wait a minute. I think I played this on my laptop when I was a teenager, dude.
I might have showed it to you back then because I thought I was blown away by it.
It's kind of like Guitar Hero.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. It's a rhythm game.
Yeah, I think you did.
I think I must have shown this to you back in the day. Well, we'll keep that ancient memory resurfacing here. Because, yeah, I think this is what made me get a Steam profile. And like, it was the first thing I ever had because I played it on someone else's computer. And I was like, this is so awesome. And this is when I was playing Rock Band like every day. And I was like, oh, you can upload your own songs. That's so sick. Like, all the songs I love, you can't play on Rock Band or anything, right? Like how, I'm just listening to random stuff. But I just throw Suicide Silence into Audio Surf and it's amazing, like, because
just do your thing.
Yeah, and it goes, like, if you upload a faster song like that with more notes, it's harder, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah. You know something? I thought about it. I didn't play Audio Surf. What I played was very scuffed probably in comparison. It was called Frets on Fire.
Oh, I know about Frets on Fire, dude.
Just remembering that. I don't know how, but that's what I played on my laptop.
No, this
Frets
isn't
on
like
Fire,
that.
Dude.
This is like I'll install it and play it for you one day. It's pretty sick. It's like you're behind the ship. It's like F-Zero perspective. Mm-hmm. Like it will make you think F-Zero for sure.
I feel like I might have seen gameplay for it or something. I've seen a lot of rhythm games, so it's hard to, pick one out.
But it's not the greatest game I ever played. It's pretty simple, but I played it a good bit back then, and it stood out to me, and I've never talked about it. I honestly forget all about it, except for when I see it in my Steam library, because it's like alphabetically like one of the first things I have.
Tyler loves rhythm games.
I do.
The next one would be like a number one if we did a numbered situation, like building up. But I just want to get it out the way in case you have it, honestly.
Okay.
And that's Soldat.
Oh no, I don't have that. That's awesome though.
We have not talked too much about Soldat. We may have brought it up. We haven't talked about it though, man. This is a very important game between us.
Yeah, we used to get on this and play like a lot.
A lot.
It wasn't that bad. It's a pretty cool.
Bad. It was great.
It was awesome. I mean, for someone now to see it, they would think it's pretty rudimentary. I think.
I don't know, man. I think it was. It brought its own thing to the table.
Totally.
I think it was fantastic.
We should play that again too. You said it's on Steam.
It's on Steam for free.
That's awesome.
You just launch it from Steam.
That's amazing. Even because I remember we used to just get a lobby with you and me and just like,
yep,
almost like try and hunt each other down.
And I got on, as I'm sure you did, in these random lobbies, you know, the death matches.
Oh yeah, the death matches for sure. I used to actually grind that for sure.
Remember the spaz, dude?
Oh, the spaz. I was always a sniper boy. I want that sniper. Yeah. Yep. That's the only way to play for me.
What was it? The AUG?
Probably.
I'm trying to remember all the weapons from it, but yeah, I remember loving the spaz. Everybody, you know, you'd always hate on people if they were using the spaz, but you loved it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you just get blown away. It's a one-shot kill from close range.
Because you don't have to have the best aim.
Correct.
Obviously, it's a shotgun, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Soldat.
Nice pick, man.
I remember Tyler was like, dude, trust me, it's going to look sketchy. Just install it. I'm seeing a bunch of Russian. I'm like, I don't know. He's like, just do it. And I did it. And I'm glad I did. It was a fun time.
Yeah. Oh, man. Good times. Back like if I told you that now, you'd be like, no. Like, go install this. It's not sketchy, I promise. No other information. You'd be like, no, I'm not doing that.
But now it's on front end on Steam, so I'd be a little more welcoming.
Yeah, but I'm saying for something else. Like, I'd just go to this website.
I probably would say no now, yeah.
My number 5 is a Switch game. I don't know if it's on other platforms, but it's a Switch game that I don't own, but my buddy owns, and I've played it with him a bunch of times, and it's amazing. Death Road to Canada. I'm sure you've probably seen this come up on sale and stuff.
Never even heard of it, dude.
Oh man, you would love this game,
really?
Honestly. And it's got co-op, and I think you and your partner would have a really good time with it. But it's basically imagine you're familiar with Oregon Trail.
Yeah, of course.
Imagine that, but it's zombie apocalypse survival.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like same representation as Oregon Trail, kind of?
More or less, right? You go to a spot, you play out a scenario, but you actually like, it'll be like you get to the mall. You have to go explore the mall and try and find weapons and stuff. But then in between, it's like, oh, your car wrecked. You know, you have to do this. Will you do this or this? And then it's a roll of if it's good or bad. You know, it's like Oregon Trail in that way. In that, you know, it kind of, you have like sequences in between that are very reminiscent of Oregon Trail, but it's an awesome game. I would love to play it with you. If it ever goes on a deep sale, which I feel like it went on sale not that long ago. I would love to pick it up and play it with you. Cause I think we would have a lot of fun with that. And I think you and like I said, you and your partner would have a really good time with that.
Absolutely, bro.
Let me know what you got for number 5, bro.
The next one on my list, which I actually think Soldat was number 5, right?
Oh yeah, then sorry, number 4.
Porky Pig's Haunted Holiday for the Super Nintendo. All
right, we are going deep with this.
And I thought about this because I was talking to my girl recently about my Aunt Annabelle. May she rest in peace. She was the reason I got a Super Nintendo because of this game. I don't know if I've ever gone through this. We've done almost 50 episodes, you know.
I don't think I've ever heard this about Porky Pig.
But Porky Pig's, Haunted Holiday. It's a fantastic game. My Aunt Annabelle had a Super Nintendo and apparently only played this game. As if it were like World of Warcraft or something. And she told my grandpa,
she's grinding Porky Pig.
She's like, listen, the kid loves video games. You need to get him a Super Nintendo and you need to get him this Porky Pig game. And guess what? He did. I remember a time when the only games I had for it were like Porky Pig, Tom and Jerry, which was actually a fantastic game. I could have put Tom and Jerry on this list. I feel so stupid now for not saying that. But same vein, right? Like same exact vein. But yeah, like Tom and Jerry, Porky Pig, Super Mario World, Metroid, Super Metroid. Like that was the first game. Just because my Aunt Annabelle was like, this shit's fire. You need to get him a Super
awesome.
Nintendo just so he can play it. And he listened.
That's amazing.
So shout out to Porky Pig. Shout out to Aunt Annabelle. And hey, dude, the roots go deep.
That's awesome, man.
You know something, Tyler? You probably could get this game pretty inexpensively.
I'll have to check it out.
And it's worth playing. It's not just a bad licensed game. It's really good.
Yeah, a lot of those licensed games were gems from that era. Mm-hmm. We've talked about, what was it? The Goofy, or was it DuckTales?
Goof Troop?
Goof Troop?
You said Goof Troop, I think, before, but
That's
I love DuckTales on NES.
Yeah, I think Goof Troop was the one that I played. That game was awesome.
Yeah, all the NES ones are good, like the Capcom, like like Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers,
exactly.
and Darkwing Duck and all that. All good games. DuckTales.
My number 4 is a game that we've never talked about because it doesn't really fall into the same category as most of the games we talk about. But it's the Jackbox Party Pack series. I own every single one of these. Have you ever played a Jackbox game?
No, but I'm very familiar, of what they are. Yeah.
So we've never talked about this, but I own all these games and have used them quite a lot when hosting events or, being at friends' house as a sort of collective thing for everyone to do, to just gather around, right? And I think it's an amazing social thing that we have these games that can be interactive in this way, that everybody can just jump in on, and you don't have to be a gamer to play at all. Like, you can get a parent into these games, you can get anybody onto these games.
Yeah, it's like charades.
It's exactly like charades. Yeah, it's 100% that style. And I think that's just in and of itself very novel and extremely good that this exists. So I just wanted to shout that out.
Hey, I mean, that sounds great.
I got all of them. I had one or two of them, but I got all the ones I didn't have on a Humble Bundle recently for like $20 for like the whole 6-pack or whatever. So that was pretty good.
Yeah. That's pretty legit. I mean, it is what it is, man. It's party games.
Yeah. But it's like the cream of the crop of like conversation games, I guess is what you would call it.
Yeah. The next one I want to throw out, I think we'll both pop off about, and we both might have brought it up, but we have not talked about this game, like talked about it. And that's Croc, Legend of the Gobos for PS1.
Yeah, this is a game that you've played more than me. I only had a brief experience with it.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Well, we brought it up before because we talked about the Super Mario 64 Origins. And
I owned it.
That was the only time I think we mentioned it, and we did not talk about anything beyond like, oh yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I owned it on PC, but my PC would not play it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, because you had all these games I had on PlayStation, you had on PC, and I'm like, what?
A few of them, yeah.
Yeah, like the
Glover.
Glover was on PC.
Mm-hmm.
No shit. You constantly blow my mind with this, but. By the way, where's the Glover port? I'm sorry, but
man, put Glover on this list, even though we have talked about it.
Yeah, we talked about it way too much to put on this list, dude. That's one of the. If you like watch from the beginning, then you know about Glover and the legacy. But, am I throwing out my next one, T, or what?
Yeah, I said Jackbox.
Yeah, oh wait, no, we're talking about Croc.
Oh yeah, Croc, man.
I thought you played Croc more than you did. I
have a little bit. Like I played it,
yeah,
but it was
scuffed. You had it.
It was scuffed.
I think it was really good for like the PlayStation 1 era, like 3D platformers, that type of thing.
Definitely.
I just recall having such a great time with it. And it's outshined by so many other 3D platformers. But I think about stuff like that. Also, I think about Gex. I never owned it, but I played Gex at a neighbor's house.
Gex was a frequent rental in my household.
Yeah. But shout out to Croc, man. Honestly, that might be the most mentioned game on this list because we talked about it once. I mean, a lot of these we have, we haven't mentioned much.
Yeah. I always think
Croc,
about the
Legend of the
Scholastic
Gobos.
Book Fair because that's where I picked it up. One day we'll have, one day we'll have a discussion on us on the Scholastic Book Fair.
We've talked about it since the beginning, I think.
Yeah, but we need to just have a whole discussion topic about it and just really go in depth on it.
That's a time capsule.
It is
for sure.
All right, my number 3 is a game that it's an actual game that it's like a AAA game, right? So it's Midnight Club 3. Now, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this game on the podcast or not. I don't feel like I have, but this game came out in the peak of like Pimp My Ride culture, right? Where you wanted the biggest rims, spinners, everything. That was what was cool at the time. And this game really like amped this aspect up into a very good racing game with a lot of customization and a lot of just really good racing mechanics. And it had multiple cities and it was an awesome game. And I had just played San Andreas. So this style of car, modification, everything really appealed to me at the time in a big way. So, it hit stylistically for me and it hit mechanically. And, I really put a lot of time into Midnight Club 3. So yeah, that's my pick.
I remember even non-gamers were all about Dub Edition. Everybody was on it, dude.
Yep.
It's a great pick. And it's one that I think the only time you might have ever talked about it was maybe in like reference to like Burnout or something, like a quick passing. Mm-hmm. The next one on my list, I have a very specific reason for it being there. Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins. The reason, we may have mentioned this before, but the reason I bring it up is because I feel like it's probably the least mentioned mainline Mario game by us, if I had to pick one,
Probably, yeah.
But you want to talk about an upgrade from Super Mario Land to the second one? This is a drastic upgrade.
Definitely.
This is, gameplay-wise, this was moving right along to Super Mario World. This was... it was a big jump. Kind of like the jump we got in Super Mario Bros. 3. There's a lot of weird things in 2 and in Land 2, like the carrot pickup that gives you like rabbit ears. Like that shit didn't stay in Mario. But
I like that though.
It's such a well-built game though, and it's long. There's so many different zones, and they did such a good job with the design of each zone and the theming. Mm-hmm. It's just It's like one of these full-blown Mario experiences. It doesn't just take you from level to level. It's got an overworld. It's got bonus content. It introduced Wario. He's the boss of the game.
Yeah.
It deserves more mention.
Awesome. Well,
from us and from everyone else, man.
Yeah. Nice pick.
But we're down to the wire, T.
Yep. My number 2 is going to be a game that, once again, I've put a ton of time into in the past, but we never really talked about for one reason or another, and that's CSGO, Counter-Strike Global Offensive.
We haven't talked much about CSGO.
I used to play a lot of CSGO. I was never very great at it, but I really enjoyed going into the casual modes and doing well in the casual modes. I never really tried to grind competitive, but either way, it's a mechanically satisfying game. It's a game with an extremely high skill ceiling and a very low floor, where if you're bad, you're not going to like luck into playing well.
Absolutely.
And I love that. So yeah, CSGO, I've always toyed around with the idea of going back and trying to play it some more, but I don't know if it's really in the cards right now. But yeah, CSGO, man. It still has I would say like half of my small Steam friends list, like are CSGO players, and I still see them playing all the time.
Yeah, I played CSGO a little bit, but not near as much as 1.6 or Source. I feel like I was really, really into Counter-Strike for those. Mm-hmm. But CSGO is something we don't talk about, but is still very relevant. The game's been going strong for a long time, and it will as long as, there isn't a new Counter-Strike game, which you kind of have to wonder when that would be.
I agree. Yeah, that's kind of... I never really thought about that, but yeah, we haven't really seen anything since Global Offensive, so I don't know.
It's funny that my number one is an FPS, but it's probably the most unexpected FPS ever.
All right, let's hear it.
And that's Metroid Prime Hunters for the Nintendo DS.
Unexpected by anyone except me.
Yep.
You used to play this game all the time.
Yep. And I think the only reason I would have mentioned it on here was about picking it up at the same time as Wild World.
Yep.
That is rooted in my memory. I got those two games the same moment. And just absolutely iconic to me. I think about my little brother and how into the game he got. I kind of got him into gaming with Hunters.
Yeah.
To the point where he wound up getting his own copy used, and playing it online seriously. The thing about it is, Tyler, this was the first time I could actually say I was getting online and playing an FPS competitively.
I remember that.
On a Nintendo system.
I remember you telling me that you found a certain area of your grandparents' house where you could get the neighbor's Wi-Fi on your DS and play.
There were 2 windowsills in my home at the time of this. And these 2 windowsills were free Wi-Fi. And I remember
Linksys,
playing...
dude. Goated.
Oh, man.
Kids these days don't know about Linksys.
No, dude. You're totally right, because that's what it was. That really is what it was. And
it always is.
Once I got my little brother into it and he wound up getting his own DS, we had 2 windowsills, dude. And it's so funny because at any given moment I'd walk into the kitchen, he'd be right there on the windowsill, and I knew exactly what he was doing. He was online playing Metroid Prime Hunters.
That's awesome. Would you guys scam it in the same way that we do golf now? Try and queue at the same time?
No, but we would deathmatch. It's funny because he was the GOAT at the game. I think he played Silux online. He wrecked, but anytime we one-on-one, he never took me. I played Trace, which is the sniper class, basically, and it's cheap. You go invisible if you stand still. So that is pretty cheap, but you also don't have any type of, ranged alt form, which is like your smaller travel form, kind of like Samus's Morph Ball. But man, such great memories. I never talk about it, but this was you wouldn't imagine the game could be so intense with the stylus, like an FPS, but this game was intense online, man. I just remember fighting for glory, and they did a really good job with the multiplayer maps. I just remember they took maps, each zone, they kind of made a little multiplayer spot,
Yeah.
Just a great game. Something that we talk about a lot of Metroid, but I feel like that's the one we talk the least about. So, number 1 material.
Nintendo, if you're listening to this, give us a trickle. Give us a morsel or a drop of information about Metroid Prime 4.
Or a port of a previous one, preferably for me the first one. I was a big fan of Metroid Prime.
Maybe 1 and 2.
Maybe 1 and 2 together.
But
I don't know, maybe something.
As far as 4, just one screenshot or a picture of the team working on it or something.
Yeah.
Anything.
A picture of the team working on it.
I don't care,
dude,
man.
I'm with you.
Just let me know that the game is not forgotten. I know that it's not, but just some small nugget of confirmation would be great.
Like even a video of text that says it's still being worked on.
100%. Give us the Breath of the Wild 2 treatment.
That's what comes to mind. It's exactly what made me think of that. Just do it. Don't even get on camera. Just put text on it.
Yeah, you can tweet. Just tweet it.
Yeah, that's all you have to talks about it. Oh man.
Anyway,
I'm with you, Tyler.
I got one more.
This is the reason we do this shit together. Yeah, but let's hear your number 1.
All right. My number 1. It's so funny because I actually mentioned this franchise accidentally in this episode today. It's Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3.
We don't talk about Dark Souls. You got that right.
We do not talk about Dark Souls. I have played the first 2 Dark Souls games a good bit, and I love them. I think they're awesome. I haven't played them much lately. They've not been on my top of my list, but I enjoy Dark Souls games a lot. I'll go on record and say that you know, I talk a lot about difficulty in games and being challenged by games. And I mean, Dark Souls, that's what the game is about. So shout out to Dark Souls. I do intend to play all the games again at some time in the future, but they're in a long line.
I need to go back. I got a little brother that's a huge Dark Souls fan. And the only one I've ever played was like the first one on 360, man. I don't know. It's just one of those things that just passed by, you know. But I I hear about them so much, and I know that they're great games, and the challenge is there, and I'm sure it's something I'd be into. I should probably even just hop on Xbox or something. I think I might even have it digitally.
Yeah,
and
they're
these
awesome.
games go on sale.
The first 2 games on Steam, if you get them, you have to download some fan patches to make them work properly.
Oh.
They don't, the ports of the first 2 on Steam are bad, especially the first one. I would call it borderline unplayable. But there's a few little just packages that like, I think it's called like Better Souls or something, where it's like,
yeah, I think I've heard of that.
Like it's something like that. I'm sure if you go to purchase the game and look in the community tab, you'll find something. But vanilla Dark Souls 1 Prepare to Die edition or whatever, like on Steam, not very playable.
Fix it.
But so yeah, if you were going to start out with 1 on Steam and you didn't want to have to mess with that, I would say start with 3. Obviously Elden Ring, a lot of people love. I haven't played it. It's quite a hot topic at the moment. I have an interest in it, but
little brother said it wasn't the hype. He expected more.
Yeah, that's fair.
Given the amount of dev time put in on it.
Sure, I love the high fantasy setting. That speaks to me in a big way. So I have an interest in the game, but yeah, man, Dark Souls, just classic 1 through 3. I love them. They're great.
Got to get into them more for sure. But that's the top 5, T.
That's the top 5, man. And that's the games that we formerly never talk about.